Through the dark, rain-soaked countryside, a lone midnight train sped forward, carrying silent passengers into the mysterious depth of the cold night. Inside the dimly lit carriage, Arthur sat by the window, staring blankly at the dark horizon while nursing a cup of lukewarm coffee. His reflection in the glass revealed a man consumed by work, disconnected from feelings, and completely detached from the world surrounding him. The train hummed softly as vintage amber lamps flickered overhead, casting long, swaying shadows along the empty rows of vacant seats. As the locomotive slowed down for an upcoming stop, Arthur stood up to stretch his tired body and adjust his dark trench coat. Suddenly, his sharp eyes noticed something unusual on the velvet bench across from him, a weathered brown leather pocketbook left completely behind. He hesitated for a moment, glancing around the empty compartment before reaching out his hand to inspect the abandoned item closely. The pocketbook felt surprisingly heavy. Arthur looked toward the doors, confirming that he was indeed the only passenger in the carriage. Sitting down once more, he examined the rustic leather texture and silver clasp shining softly under the amber glow of the train light. With gentle curiosity, he unbuckled the metal clasp and opened the pocketbook, revealing thick stacks of neatly organized cash inside. Arthur gasped in pure astonishment. Thousands of dollars lay untouched right before his eyes, enough money to change a life forever. He quickly snapped the leather pouch shut, glancing nervously at the carriage doors to ensure no one was watching his sudden discovery. Opening it once again, he noticed a folded piece of yellowed paper tucked carefully between two thick bundles of currency notes. Arthur carefully unfolded the paper, revealing urgent handwritten words written with a trembling hand in dark blue ink. He began reading the message silently, his heart beating faster as the tragic reality of the owner's story slowly unfolded. The note read, "This money is for my granddaughter's emergency surgery. If you take it, know that severe guilt will follow you." A heavy wave of anxiety washed over Arthur. Greed battled fiercely against his conscience in the silence of the moving train. He envisioned an elderly man wandering helplessly in the cold rain, desperately searching his empty pockets for his lost treasure. Looking at his expensive watch, Arthur realized he had to make a choice: continue his comfortable journey or help a total stranger. The train screeched to a sudden halt, its loud steam brakes echoing across the quiet platform of a small rural station. Arthur stood near the exit doors with the pocketbook tucked inside his coat, heart pounding as the doors opened into the night. He stepped onto the wet, foggy platform, taking a deep breath of cold air while resolving to do the right thing. Walking through the heavy mist, Arthur approached a small, illuminated station booth, searching desperately for someone who could help. Inside, an elderly station master was sleeping soundly. Arthur knocked firmly on the glass window to catch his immediate attention. The old worker woke up surprised, opening the window shutter to ask the sharply dressed gentleman how he could assist him. Arthur produced a small photograph found inside the pocketbook, showing a little girl with a bright smile and a blue ribbon. Recognizing the child, the station master pointed down a dark cobblestone street toward the town hospital just a few blocks away. Arthur hurried down the rainy street, his umbrella shielding him from cold wind as his footsteps exceeded against wet pavement. Navigating through narrow alleys, he held his coat tightly, driven by a newfound purpose he had not felt in years. He double-checked the hospital address written behind the photo, determined to reach his destination before it was too late. Thunder echoed across the dark sky as torrential rain poured down, but Arthur pushed forward through the storm without stopping. Finally, he arrived at St. Jude Hospital, its Red Cross sign shining like a beacon of hope through the driving storm. He pushed open the heavy glass entrance, stepping into the quiet, warm lobby filled with the faint smell of antiseptic. Arthur walked down the long, quiet corridor, his wet shoes echoing softly on the clean marble floor as he searched. Down the hall, he spotted an elderly man sitting alone on a plastic bench, head buried in his trembling hands. The old man looked completely defeated, weeping silently in his worn coat, overwhelmed by grief and hopeless despair. Arthur approached slowly, holding the brown pocketbook behind his back, feeling a mixture of nerve-wracking suspense and profound compassion. The elderly man slowly looked up, his eyes red and filled with tears, questioning why a stranger was approaching him so late. Without saying a word, Arthur stepped forward and extended his hands, presenting the lost brown leather pocketbook to its rightful owner. The old man gasped in disbelief, his eyes widening in total shock as despair instantly transformed into radiant, tearful hope. He grabbed the pocketbook with trembling fingers, pressing it tightly against his chest as if holding on to a precious miracle. Opening the clasp, he confirmed that every single bill was safe and intact, untouched by the stranger who brought it back. Tears streamed down his face as he grabbed Arthur's hands, expressing profound gratitude that words alone could never fully convey. Arthur sat down beside him on the bench, listening quietly as the old man began to share his deeply moving story. The grandfather pointed toward a nearby room where his young granddaughter lay sleeping under the watchful eyes of nurses. Through the glass, Arthur saw the peaceful child, realizing how critical every single second had been on his journey tonight. The old man explained that this money represented his entire life savings, meant to pay for urgent surgery scheduled for morning. He admitted writing the warning note because he once made a terrible mistake in his youth, learning that honesty brings true peace. Arthur listened closely, realizing with profound clarity how close he had come to choosing greed over human kindness earlier. A powerful warmth filled Arthur's chest, a realization that living selfishly had kept his own heart cold and empty for years. Moved by the moment, Arthur pulled out his checkbook and wrote a substantial amount to cover all remaining hospital bills. He handed the check to the grandfather, who stared at the generous amount with overwhelming tears of gratitude and joy. The two men embraced warmly, proving that a single act of honesty can create a deep, unbreakable bond between strangers. A smiling doctor stepped out of the room, announcing that the medical team was fully prepared for the successful procedure. Standing near the window, Arthur watched the dark rain clouds part as the first warm rays of sunrise illuminated the sky. He stepped outside into the fresh morning air, feeling cleansed and renewed as golden sunlight filled the peaceful streets. Walking back toward the train station, Arthur smiled genuinely, feeling a deep sense of joy he had never experienced before. Boarding the morning train, he watched the beautiful countryside pass by, bathed in vibrant green and warm morning light. Looking at his reflection now, Arthur saw a changed man, someone who understood that true wealth comes from helping others. The train vanished into the bright, sunlit horizon, leaving behind a timeless lesson that honesty and kindness always illuminate the dark.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more inspiring stories.